gotta stretch it out.
I feel that. I've been taking melatonin again, and I feel like I'm waking up like groggy.
Really?
Yeah.
I love melatonin. I feel like I can't.
I mean, I do too.
I feel like I can't get comfy before falling asleep if I don't take melatonin. Like, it gives you that drowsy feeling.
And it gives you like, I mean, it's true that it tells your brain like, oh, I'm gonna be able to fall asleep. But like when I know that I take it, I'm like, ooh, like I'm gonna be able to get so cozy and sleepy.
Yeah. Even if it's a placebo, like it calms the anxiety.
I feel that way with my
drugs.
My drugs.
Wait, did you guys try Let Me Sleep?
No, it's the same thing.
I heard it's like a hard drug, like it knocks you out.
I think there's a lot of melatonin in it. Like, how many grams of melatonin is in it? Let me look. Let me check.
Let me look. That's funny. I feel like the ones I take are 5 each. Because we've talked about this before, but it's a scam on the melatonin things where it says 5 milligrams, and then the ones that say 10 milligrams, it's like the serving size is 2.
Oh.
So there's still 5 each.
It is 5 milligrams.
Oh. I wonder what else is in it?
Calming botanicals, magnesium, L-theanine.
I think L-theanine
chamomile.
Really hits.
Yeah, me too.
What is L-theanine also? I remember I went to like a holistic doctor one time and they prescribed it for like a throat thing I had. Because I think it's just like an amino acid.
I feel like it maybe is in like cough drops.
I'm like fairly certain that's like what it was. It was like, I think either it was a pill or like a liquid form. No, it was like a pill of L-theanine.
Like all the sleep type stuff has L-theanine in it. Like that moon juice, magnesium drink.
I wonder if it's just a way to like make it more like the body like helps absorb it or something.
I think it relaxes you.
Well, magnesium is like a relaxant.
L-theanine. Yeah. L-theanine and magnesium may have overall effects that improve relaxation, decrease feelings of stress and anxiety, and improve sleep. So I guess they're different things, but they're...
I wonder if you just took it in the morning, like if it would help anxiety and not make you sleepy.
The one that I take, I take magnesium for anxiety, and it's...
In the morning?
Symbiotica one, yeah.
Oh. I think I did that a few times, but I don't know if it made me sleepy or if I was already sleepy.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh, it does help with immunity as well.
Interesting.
Well, sleep gummies are good for you. That's the
moral of the story.
Conclusion.
Yeah, that's the moral of the story. That's so funny. I woke up today to Finley throwing up, and then Cameron cleaned it, and then he threw up 6 more times, like literally in a row. I have no idea. It was just his food.
That's so annoying. Does Finley get like
his dog bed?
What food was it? Like what protein?
Food, beef.
Oh,
which sometimes I always wonder if it's like. Sometimes I think he has a beef or a chicken allergy.
Yeah.
But I need to like really do like the elimination diet type thing.
Rosie's like sensitive to different brands like proteins. Like with Darwin, she could really only eat duck and sometimes turkey. With Stella and Chewy, she can't have their lamb. Like just full on reaction. I haven't tested any of these things since she was a puppy, and she's like built a much better immune system and like just strength to stuff. Like she can eat a lot more. Like I realized when she was a puppy, we like did not feed her any table scraps or like anything because we were so scared she was just gonna shit or like vomit everywhere. So like for the first like 2 years of her life, she only had like raw food besides when we fed her kibble and she was like dying.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's good you figured it out though, like at the beginning.
Yeah. ASMR gulps.
Hey, well, welcome back to another episode of So Glad We're Friends. I'm Maggie.
I'm Devin.
I'm Brittany.
Today we're going to be talking about dating stories that you guys submitted. We did an episode on this before and we loved it. You guys loved it. Time to do it again. So Devin asked for responses on her Instagram story. So make sure you're following all of our accounts and So Glad We're Friends account so you can keep up to date and submit things when we're doing fun audience submitted episodes.
But first, there's some business we need to attend to.
What?
I want to talk about It Ends With Us.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
Have you guys seen it at all?
No, I'm going on Thursday because I was supposed to go last Thursday, but I was still sick. So
I cried a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah. I saw it I think actually opening day. We had talked about it, I think, when we recorded on Friday.
Yeah.
And I was like, Joe, we're going to go.
Oh.
And we went.
You guys can give spoilers and stuff, though. Like, I feel like literally people are just recording the movie and posting it on TikTok, like in the movie theater.
That's like aggressive.
And people,
it was a
packed
for movie theater.
I know. I've gone twice, and both times packed. It was packed. Yeah.
Really? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, like, I haven't heard that it's doing exceptionally well or anything.
I saw it is.
To be.
I think it did like double Deadpool.
No,
it did like 50 million I think, opening weekend.
Oh fuck yeah. Okay, so like,
wait,
first of all,
crazy. If it did double Deadpool, that's really crazy.
I'll have to look at I don't remember if I looked at that like mid weekend or at the end of the weekend, but I was like excited that it would potentially do better than Deadpool.
Whoa,
that is exciting. So people are using this moment in time to all hop on to hating Blake Lively.
Yeah.
Which I understand where it's stemming from, where she is not doing a very good job in promoting the message of the movie. She's like making too light of it. And I agree. Like, I watched her answer one question and I was like, come on, just say something.
Mm-hmm. Did they ask specifically violence about it?
Yeah, they asked her something about the message of the movie. And I think I understand where she's coming from, because she's really trying to nail home the point of this movie is not just about domestic violence, and neither are women who are in domestic violence relationships. You know, like they are women who are strong and beautiful and smart and have so much more going for them than being a part of a abusive relationship. And that's the same with her character that she's playing. Like, yeah, Lily is in this cycle of trauma, but she's also a business owner and a mom and a daughter and a best friend, and she's, you know, got a lot going for her.
One of the other messages that I like took away from the movie too was that domestic violence is like really difficult to leave. Like, it's not just like there's like these obvious things, but then there's like a lot of reasons why it's like easy to stay.
Well, you know what I mean? Excuses for them,
or you make excuses and all of that stuff. And I think it gave like a real picture of like not the fully extreme versions of, you know, some domestic violence, but like maybe something that people experience more often and can like relate to it and see. And I think that's really powerful in itself too.
Yeah, I agree.
Not that she's like talking about that as much, but like,
yeah, I think she could have been like trained better to handle, because maybe she just she can't relate.
Yeah.
Did you
see she played the part so well, so you would think she'd be able to articulate. Yeah.
What did you see like that? Like, people talked about that maybe she was told to do that with promotion, because like a lot of people, like I didn't know before I read the book that it was about that. Like, I thought it was a lighthearted romance book, and people were saying that maybe that was the point of her promoting it like that, which obviously then that could be a problem if you go to the movie.
I had
and that's
that
like
thought
a big trigger
too.
For you.
Yeah, the trigger thing is an issue with this situation, but I also, you know how musicals, they do not promote them as musicals because they want people to go see it.
That, honestly,
I feel like that's kind of, maybe that was the plan.
Oh, interesting.
For this movie.
I also think too, with regards to like, I don't think it was really promoted as a romantic comedy.
No, I don't know where people are getting that information.
I'm kind
because
of like,
it was a book, I think.
Maybe, but also I don't think anybody that's like even read, if you read the like insert of the book, I don't think you take away that this is a romantic comedy. This is like a romantic like drama.
Tragedy. Yeah.
Tragedy drama. Like,
yeah, like the way that The Notebook is.
Maybe so many people are like used to only seeing romantic comedies. I'm like, romance as a theme can exist without comedy, you know? Like, and there's not really any like lighthearted pieces.
And like, I feel like you can tell that by the trailer.
The only lighthearted piece of it was when she said she wanted to get divorced, like in the hospital room.
Okay, and there are people having issues with that as well, because people are saying like it's not that easy to leave an abuser, and I understand that, like, obviously, but at the end of the day, it is a fictional movie, and at the end of the day, it has to have a happy ending, and they didn't have enough time. So obviously Ryle is going to say, yeah, you're right, and then we're not going to see any of the aftermath of her trying to stay separated from him or whatever. It's a movie, it has a happy ending.
Well, also that's what the next book is about.
Yeah.
But then also I feel like people are saying like Colleen Hoover like has no idea about situations like this and doesn't know the truth about it, but like she literally wrote it about her own mom's experience. So like there can be so many different versions of that experience, and it doesn't mean that hers is like
and again, it's like a fantasized version of it. It's like the best ideal situation that you tell your abuser, I don't want to be with you anymore because you hurt me, and he says you're right. Like, it's a book.
Yeah, because that's true. Like, the abuser's never gonna be like, you're right, actually. I'm a narcissist.
And there probably are books that depict that, you know, but that's not this book.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think though, like, about the drama aspects? Like, do you think that Justin Baldoni is like abusive on set and all of these things?
I think that Blake Lively is very strong-willed and a control freak, because even like she was saying that she was bringing her own clothes in for costume, and she was doing the whole soundtrack, and I feel like they had creative differences because Blake wanted to be in control of everything, and Justin was like, yo, I'm the director. Like, and this other podcast that I listened to, she was talking about it, and she was like, I think that Blake needs to like give the costumers their creative control. Like, they're the professionals in this situation. Like, let them design the costumes. You just be the actor and just worry about that. And I don't think Blake can do that. And plus, she's like rich and powerful. So at the end of the day, she has the final say. So she's going to win this argument. But a lot of people want to hate Blake Lively, but actually I didn't know anything about her, honestly. I just watched Gossip Girl. I think she's pretty, whatever. But now I'm like, oh, I actually kind of love her. Like, she's sarcastic and bitchy and powerful, and I think it's cool.
Did you see that one interview though, where the interview person was like, I like, congratulations on your bump, and she's like, congrats on your bump.
Yes, that was what so the savage. Fuck? I know.
What? Was that other girl pregnant though, right?
No.
Oh.
But I think, you know, when they do press days and they literally sit down and talk to people for 10 minutes for 5 hours in one day, like they just have a bunch of interviewers coming in. I bet you it was one of those situations where she had been being asked about her pregnancy all day long, and she's like, I just want to talk about the movie. And she just like broke. And then the girl next to her was like egging her on, because I think the girl next to her knew she was sarcastic. And so they were like being sarcastic back and forth. And I mean, it was bad, but also I think it's kind of funny.
It's just odd when Justin Baldoni has such a representation and reputation of being so like women, like, I love women, I'm a good man, toxic masculinity is horrible. Like, his whole podcast is about that. So like, it seems hard to believe that he would have acted any type of way or like actually done anything bad. It feels like it was probably just disagreements like that.
Yeah, and I don't think Blake takes shit from people. Obviously, in her interviews, you can see that like when people are not staying on topic about the whatever she's promoting, she gets bitchy. Like,
and by him saying in that one interview that he would want Blake to direct It Starts With Us, I feel like that also just shows that.
Yeah, he's like, she can do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to
She's
fight
like,
with
I'm
her.
done with her.
Especially because then you can get Ryan in the mix, because apparently Ryan rewrote something in the movie.
The
rooftop scene.
Yeah, thank you.
One thing that I'm, obviously we've talked about this before, but I hate how, I don't know if it's just my algorithm or whatever, but it's like, okay, once one person talks shit about Blake Lively, it opens up floodgates for everybody to fucking talk shit. And it's like, nobody was talking about her a week ago, and now that's all I'm seeing. It just, why does the groupthink problem?
Yeah, it's
the
a
groupthink of
everybody's
brains meshing, and oh yeah, I need to talk shit about her too. It's like, oh my god, just do something original for once. Like, it's annoying.
Yeah, I think that I like listened to World's First Podcast like interview Justin on like male vulnerability, and it was interesting just like hear all of his like takes on just how all of it works. And I was like, I just don't really see how he would be painted as a villain. It was interesting though how quickly the rhetoric was about, oh my god, Justin must have like fucked up really badly, to then like the next day it was like Blake Lively's a bitch.
Yeah, I know. Why can't two things kind of be true at once? Like both of them are just having creative differences.
Yeah, right. I think it is that both things are true at the same time.
It doesn't mean Justin's abusive. It doesn't mean that Blake's, I mean, she is kind of a bitch, but like not.
They just don't get along.
Horrible way. Yeah.
Is that possible though? Like, do you think that they made it clear that they didn't want to do any of the press together and everything, and then they're just
that
like,
part
okay.
is weird.
I feel like what's her face? Blake had more what's it called? She had other motives in her press. And so like doing it with Justin would have like messed up those motives.
Like for her hair company?
Well, like for her hair, cross promoting Deadpool, her drink brand, kind of like all of that stuff.
Yeah. I also feel like because Justin was the only one doing his own thing, obviously he was the one who was like, you know what? I'm going to go, you do whatever you want to do. I'm going to go do this too. Like,
yeah.
Because he was the only one who wasn't with them promoting it.
And a lot of his brand, quote unquote, is fighting toxic masculinity and abuse and all of this stuff. So it does make sense at the same time that he's saying those things, and her brands are the more superficial, let's promote my drinks and my hair brand and everything.
True.
I don't know.
Joe is saying like
weird.
Because Ryan is such like a business focused person,
yeah.
He was like, maybe this is more like they're both just trying to like get their bag and then like retire soon.
But that is weird. Like it is like
are already
weird.
Billionaires.
Yeah,
but they want more.
But it's like you never really see as much in a movie like that where people are just promoting their own individual brands. Like it is a little odd. Like I can't think of really other people who do that. And I wonder how much that's in contracts, probably. It's like, this is an exclusive contract type thing. Like, you can't just promote what you sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know enough about that.
But what I think it was like Smartless that I was listening to, where they were like, now when you're like, it used to be like you were only an actor. Like, that's all you did. Like, you were just, you know, auditioning and wanting to like try and find jobs, like your next job. And now there's so many more things for them to do. So they have like a strong personal brand. They have businesses. They have like other opportunities. And so like they try and like weave all of that into like their press conferences and things like that. Versus before it was like, how can I just get my next job?
Yeah.
Very true. Okay.
Crazy.
Should we read submissions?
Yeah.
Do you want me to start with the first one?
Wait, do I click the Excel sheet or the Google sheet?
The Excel. Because I spaced all them out on that sheet.
10 out of 10. Looks amazing.
So we can actually read them.
Wow.
I don't know about crazy, but it wasn't the best experience. I met a guy in line. We saw each other, went on a few dates, and then all of a sudden he wouldn't answer my texts. Came back to me a week or so later saying sorry, and he had been at a bar and made out with someone else and was too afraid to tell me. I was naive, hadn't had a relationship, gave him a second chance. He asked me to be his girlfriend. Then sometime later, he ghosted me a second time and stopped talking to me. That's very shitty.
That is a man with avoidant attachment.
No, that is crazy.
He asked you to be his girlfriend and then he ghosted you?
That's so weird. Like, I would contact their mothers. Like,
for real. Can I have your mom's? Yeah, find her on Facebook.
I know,
this is what your son is doing.
There was a guy that like I met at like a friend of a friend's birthday going away thing or whatever, and we like connected whatever, and like ended up going to a different club than everyone else afterwards, and like had a great night. And then like he wanted to take me out on a date, and I was like, we don't have to do this. Like, this is not like, I probably will never see you again kind of thing. And then he like really tried to pursue me, like wanted to date me, and then like was like planning on these things, whatever. We went on like 3 or 4 dates, and he like wanted to like pursue a relationship, and I was not like asking for that. I was just like, whatever happens, happens. And then he was like, I don't think this is gonna work out. And I was like, I didn't want this to work out. Like, this was like not my idea. Like, this is fully your idea. Like, I don't know why you're trying to pin this, like, that it was my, like, forcing it or whatever. It was just bizarre.
He needed to be the one to end it too.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't
That's
know.
stupid.
This is so stupid.
Do you think that ghosting is more popular now, where it's like after when you're out of college, it's like you could just not see somebody again and just like not reply to their texts, or like back in the day before we had phones, like people would just like stop going over to your house or writing you a letter or something?
I get like earlier on the relationships, it was like, yeah, he hasn't called me back.
And then so it's just probably done.
I'm waiting by the phone, all of those things.
I also think that like probably before though, like you did try and like end things maybe better, because like your pool was so much smaller. So if you got like a bad reputation, like that you were a dick, then that would like get around your circle of people, versus now like your pool is so massive that like you can ghost somebody and you would never see them or like know anybody who knows them.
Yeah. And like people maybe back in the day would go like on a third date and be like, at the end of the date, like, I'm sorry, I'm not really feeling this anymore. I don't think I want to go on another one. Versus like now we wait till after the date to then text about it.
Suze, tell us the tea.
I bet you that they would just never call.
Interesting.
Because that men haven't changed. Men still won't just fucking say the truth of how they're feeling.
Yeah. No, that's
not
probably
all men,
true.
but
okay, you want to go next or you want me to go?
I can go.
Okay.
I went on a date with a girl. It went okay. We chatted for a good bit before the date, so there was some connection there. After the date, we drive to my place. She parks out front, and when I walk from my car, I see her pissing in the middle of the street, bare ass out, jeans around her ankles. What the fuck?
I feel like I have a friend that would do that.
That is crazy.
She's driving the car. I feel like I would only do that if I was really drunk.
Yeah. Wait, yeah. First of all, yeah, if she was driving, let's hope she was sober. That's crazy. I could see it if you tell them, like, I have to pee.
Okay, I want to know if this was a girl or a guy.
I know, I was thinking that too, because I wonder if you'd be more comfortable to do it, like, in front of another girl.
Imagine if this was your girl and this is the first time you're dating a girl.
I'd be like,
is this what it's like?
This does feel like we're just besties. Love that.
I did. Tinks did a podcast with one of her friends that's a lesbian, and it was very interesting to hear the take. But like one thing that I found surprising was like, she's like, yeah, a lot of us like we're like friends before, and we like build a connection so quickly because like girls can just like, oh my god, I give up. You like can have like one, like the start of one conversation and feel like super connected to them because you're like talking about everything, versus like guys, you know, you might take a couple dates to like really open up and like share everything. And then she said it's like really common for them to stay friends like afterwards, even if there might be like some time, but like a lot of the times they stay friends afterwards because like they built such a strong friendship during the relationship. And I was like, that's kind of cool.
Girls are just so like civilized.
But gay boys do that too. Like they're very much like all just hang out as friends and stay friends.
But that's also because men are a lot less like girls, you hurt me and I am never going to trust you again type thing, where guys are just like, oh yeah, it's okay. Like they get over things quickly.
Yeah, that's probably so true.
So that makes more sense to me. Whereas like lesbians being like,
yeah, I would be
let's stay friends.
Be jealous for sure.
Yeah.
I guess unless you're like really, really over them.
Or maybe they're just older and more mature. I don't know.
Maybe. Are you ready, Britt? Okay.
Oh my god.
The coolest date I had in my 20s, 20 plus years ago. Guy said we could still go out to dinner, but he had one work thing and it wouldn't take much time and I could go with him. All he said was it's a military transport. I got there and he was responsible for driving the luggage of an entire flight of military to the airport in a huge military vehicle. It was canvas topped and it rained while we were going there. And he said, oh no, this is the one that leaks. It did leak. We got pretty wet. He felt bad and took me back to his place to shower to warm up alone. Total gentleman. We had a great dinner and he was so nice, but we just didn't have a spark. I never saw him again, but I think of that date often. I hope he ended up with somebody great.
Aww.
That's cute. I would be concerned about the shower part. I'm glad she said
it. It reminds me of like a movie or a book.
That does feel very movie or book like.
Yeah.
That is.
And then he gives you his pajamas to wear.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's not going to be like, you're showering without me.
Yeah.
What? Gross.
My second day of classes, my freshman year of college, I met a cute boy and we started talking. He asked me out on a group date with him and a bunch of his friends. I had also just started a new job and was still in training. I'm curious if he was like, hey, do you want to like come hang out with me and my friends? Or was like,
I was thinking that too.
Let's go on a group date.
Or if they're Mormon, because I think that's a normal thing.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I don't know.
I just started a new job and was still in training, so I had to work the night of the date. I was closing at work, so I told him what time I thought I'd be off and that I could meet him and the group at the restaurant. The person who was training me took forever to explain things, and I didn't get off work until an hour after I thought I would. I was also very timid and didn't ask if I could text my date to let him know I'd be late. I had to wait until I was officially clocked off. I was an hour late to our group date and felt bad. My date later told me he thought I had stood him up in front of all his friends. I was so embarrassed and apologized profusely. Things turned out okay. We've been together ever since and are planning getting married next year, 13 years later.
Oh my God.
Cute.
So cute. Aww. I'm glad for his understanding. That's crazy.
Okay, that's not Mormon then.
They would never wait.
They would have been married 13 years ago.
That's so funny. There was like Tinder back in the day. Like Cameron and Aaron did one of those joint friend profiles, like where literally like there'd be like groups of friends, and then like they'd be on it together and be like, "Are there two girls that want to go out with us?" And like there would be a page with multiple girls on it. Is that weird? But also kind of cool.
So interesting.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, like for college, probably.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because then also you have to like be like, which one do you want?
Yeah, that would be awkward. What if you're fighting over the same person or something?
Yeah.
Okay. This font, this is too small. I need to like get closer to my computer so I can see it. Met a guy on an app when I was 21. He said he was 30. He ended up being 33 and using photos that were 10 years old. Oh my God. He said he wanted to meet someone before his mom came to visit from overseas in 2 weeks so she could see that he was about to get married and have kids.
That is so bizarre.
That's horrible.
That used to happen to me with doctors. Doctors would like use literally like 20 to 25-year-old photos. And I'm like, bro,
what?
You are
like on their websites and stuff.
Yeah, on like or even like Google. Like Google didn't have like any up-to-date pictures.
Yeah.
And so they would be like full head of hair, like very
I'm gonna see this hot doctor today.
Yeah, and then I'd get to meet them, and they have like a massive, like bushy gray beard and like thinning hairline, and I'm like, like
That's
10
so
to 20
funny.
pounds like heavier. I'm like, well, I'm glad like I had an official meeting, because there were sometimes like I didn't know what they looked like, and I was like approaching them for the first time, like trying to pitch them something. And so like I would want to know what they look like to be like, okay, hey, Dr. Smith, like, how are you? But like that I'd get there and I'm like, is this Dr. Smith? Or like, is
the doctors are catfishing you.
Like, they really would.
If it wasn't for the lying about the age, this is the start of a great book. This is my favorite kind of book.
They like fake
dating.
a relationship.
Yeah. I think that's my favorite trope.
The which one?
Fake dating.
It is a great trope.
Like
fake dating. Oh, like they're like they're like telling everyone else that they're like dating, but they're not.
Yeah, like yours truly was like that.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah.
That one.
I don't think I've read a lot of those in a minute.
Did you read The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren?
Loved that one.
Yeah. See, I love that type of.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like wish they would pump out a book every year. I guess they maybe have been, but
Christina Lauren.
Yeah,
that's funny. That must be so hard, like writing a whole book in a year, and then
but
also...
like they're two people, so they should really be.
I know. I forgot that information. That's like so crazy. That was like groundbreaking to find that out.
Yeah,
I don't understand how that works.
I follow Abby Jimenez on Instagram, and she posted a picture of a girl in an airport holding her book just for the summer. And she's like, I'm posting this because the funny thing is that Christina from Christina and Lauren took this picture and sent it to me from the airport. And whoever this girl is, like, now you've got the attention of two romantic comedy authors. Like,
that's so funny.
Just, like, funny coincidence. Imagine being that girl in the airport. She didn't even know.
That's so funny. I love following writers on Instagram. Like, same with oh my god, what's the Fourth Wing writer?
Rebecca Yarros.
Oh, yeah. Rebecca Yarros. Yeah. Like, she genuinely posts like, okay, I'm doing edits now. Like, now it's time for this part, or like, now I'm figuring out this part, and it's like so cool to see the.
She posts her family too, which is cool.
Yeah,
like, here's what's
I
going
love
on,
seeing
like,
that
in her life.
Yeah, she has like college sons, and I'm like,
yeah,
that would be uncomfortable to read.
Oh my god, but they'd be like, oh my god, your mom writes the best sex scenes. Do you take notes?
Like, oh my god, yeah, that'd be so awkward.
That's so weird. I don't like that. But anyways, back to this. I don't understand how people get away with using fake photos. Like, what do they expect to happen once you meet them in person?
But think about all the fucking girls that Facetune the shit out of their faces.
But even with girls, but like, why would you want to do that? Like, why would you want them to then be like disappointed in person?
Exactly, because like, okay, yeah, maybe you're getting a lot more matches, but then like once they see you, what, you got all dressed up and ready, and then they're going to be disappointed to see you now. Like,
yeah.
But also, I understand that a lot of people don't take good photos, so like once you see them in person, you're not going to be disappointed. Maybe. Yeah. At least for the women in the filters. With the guys and they're like 10 years older, that is stupid.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I once had a guy over to the house that I was house sitting at. I had only met him once before this, but as soon as he got there, he was so weird. He kept making super weird comments, and at one point while we were watching a movie, he literally farted and didn't acknowledge it at all. I didn't know how to get out of this, so I texted my best friend an SOS, and she called me saying that her brother got bucked off a bowl and was in critical condition, and she needed me to come to the hospital. I literally had to get in my car and drive towards the hospital as he followed me. I blocked him in all forms of social media immediately. We still laugh about it. That is crazy.
Ew. That's an instant.
I want to know, like, does her brother ride bulls? Or, like, was that totally
made up? It's like a far-fetched idea. That would be really funny if it was just far-fetched.
Yeah, they're like in Maine or something. Like, where the fuck are people riding bulls at?
Have you ever done that, Britt? Or, like, somebody, like, you had somebody call, or you had to call somebody to get them out of a date?
No, I just try to, like, end it really early. Like, an hour, like, or less. People say like weird shit. I'm just like, or like there's just not a vibe, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I hate that.
I guess
One
I can have
time,
like one drink and I'm gonna fucking leave.
Yeah.
I went on a date with this guy. It was kind of like a mutual setup, and I had never seen him before. And first of all, I didn't even think he was that attractive. I wasn't attracted to him or whatever. But then, like, we were eating Mexican food, and he was sitting in front of me just like sweating the entire time. And I was like, I felt bad for him because, like, that's so embarrassing. And I was just like grossed out.
Were you outside?
No, we were inside.
I just don't think meals, like maybe you could do apps, but I don't think meals on a first date are it.
Like a big Arizona Mexican food, like a big cheesy plate of enchiladas.
I'm dead.
And beans.
Oh my god, really spicy or something?
Maybe. Yeah, I think it was spicy. And that's just embarrassing.
That's so funny. That is embarrassing. Why do boys, it seems like overall, as a general statement, boys sweat more than girls.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'd like to know why.
I went on a first date to a brewery with this guy I met on Instagram. We followed each other for a while, liked each other's photos, but I really didn't message him much before deciding to meet up. He was super attractive and pulled up on his motorcycle, literally like a scene out of a movie, but sadly this one was the only good part of the date. We hadn't even known each other 5 minutes yet, still waiting in line to get a drink, and his first question to me was, so what's been your dating history and how long for each relationship? Anything serious that lasted more than a year? That's like too aggressive for the first.
Yeah, that's
like,
really
question.
Aggressive.
Like, why don't you like start with like an icebreaker? Like,
Yeah.
well, like Maggie's icebreaker. What would you do if you got disconnected in the outer space?
That's a good one.
Bold question for a total stranger while we were still in the line too. Then we get our drinks and sit down, and he asks, what's your biggest insecurity and how are you managing it day to day?
Is this a job interview?
There's not a single mention of anything normal, like where are you from? What are some of your hobbies? He goes straight to the chase, and it did not stop with the big questions. He was a city councilman, so I guess I should have expected the clericalness, but my God, I felt like I was on a job interview. I also ended up having to pay for all of our drinks and got ghosted after the day. Guess I didn't get the job. Such a nightmare. Dude,
Holy
no.
shit.
Absolutely
Ew.
not.
I think he read those 36 questions to fall in love before this date.
He's not wasting any time. He's like, are you right for me or not?
Honestly,
it literally was an interview.
I would do this like in high school, and it does work. Probably like maybe for a girl side more, like just being more deep, like asking more serious things. I mean, not while you're in line for drinks, being like, what's your biggest insecurity?
Well,
but
he
like,
did seem like he was trying to check off things on a checklist.
Like, yeah, like I think he maybe read that.
And he's like, I'm a city councilman, so my image is really important. I'm looking for a specific woman. Like,
a city councilman is so...
He's like, I'm gonna be president one day, and I need my wife to be good enough.
I need a first lady. That's funny. I do have a new icebreaker question.
Oh, what is it?
If you could know any statistic from your whole life, what statistic would you want to know? Like, how many pizzas have you eaten? How many times have you laughed? How many times have you hugged your mom? There's a lot.
In your whole life, so it would add like the future thing too.
I think so, yeah.
I feel like how many flights have I been on?
Oh, that's a good one.
You couldn't figure that out?
Yeah, you could.
Need some magical power to...
I think I would want to know, like, laughing. Like, how many times did I, like, belly laugh?
Yeah.
I don't know if I care about any of those things.
Or I'd want to know pizzas. Like, how many pizzas have I eaten? It's probably a lot.
But then it might make you not want to eat any more pizza.
Or McDonald's.
I don't know.
Okay, let us know what yours would be.
Okay.
Is it my turn or your turn?
I think it's my turn.
Devin's increasing the font like 30 times.
Why don't you just zoom in? I have mine
It won't
fully
let
zoomed.
me. Oh, now it will. Okay. Honestly, needs a call in because it's so wild. We should.
Oh my
do
god,
that.
you should have left your number.
But I met with a guy off of Tinder back in 2014, so it was still pretty new. We went to my local Irish bar, and the stuff he said was so wild, but he also had this very good beer liquor selection bar and was sipping Jagger Bomb like a mixed drink.
A Jaeger bomb.
Jaeger bomb.
Let me just do that again.
Oh
Wait,
my
I think
god.
we went to my local Irish bar, and the stuff he said was so wild, but the bar had a very good beer liquor selection, and he was sipping a Jaeger bomb like a mixed drink, no ice. Basically, I think like showing that like he could have had like a whiskey on ice or something, or like a whiskey neat, like a good
Yeah, so
whiskey.
he had
to have a Jaeger bomb.
But he chose to have a Jaeger bomb and drink it like a mixed drink without ice.
Ew.
That is so funny because doesn't
Criminal.
Most like you do a Jaeger bomb and you chug it, right?
Yeah.
Like a shot, right? Like
you drop
like-
a shot in a
isn't-
beer, and
I think no, I
Oh.
think it's in a Red Bull, isn't it? I have no idea. Let me look. I'm looking this up.
I thought it was in a Guinness.
Ew. Anyway, I'll
Yeah,
continue.
a Jaeger bomb is dropping a shot of Jägermeister into an energy drink, typically a Red Bull.
Oh,
It's kind of like sweet tasting. They're pretty easy to drink, but it's like that's aggressive to like drink that like a mixed drink, especially without ice.
wow.
Yeah,
Holy
what the
girls.
fuck? I asked him how he got into karate, and he said he said he really wants to be this day's modern Batman, a vigilante, if you will. I laughed like surely he's kidding, and he got offended. So much more to add, and then they left their Instagram.
Dang, we should do an episode next
Well,
where
we
we
should
like
do-
get people's numbers and call them.
Well, no, they should leave like voicemails to like call
Yeah.
them and like tell us.
That
Like,
would be
on
fun.
that Google number. That's what one of Joe's ideas was, like to make a Google number for us.
Yeah, I think that we definitely should, because then it would be more for like advice episodes for people to call in.
True. Also, the Bad Broadcast she did an It Ends With Us episode yesterday, and she had people call in and just say their opinions of the movie, which was a good way to like fill the episode out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that was fun.
I
And
like
the
that.
audio
that.
sounds really good too.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder how.
We could set up
I
a
guess we should
voicemail
get
through
people-
Google phone.
And like your phone speaker is good. So
Oh yeah, true. That makes sense. Okay, I once went to Costa Rica with a guy I was dating, and halfway through the trip, he decided he wanted to come home because I was worried he wasn't having a good time because he spent most of the time in the hotel room. The morning after we got back, he broke up with me via email. Via
That
email
is
is
wild.
crazy.
One of my friends, when I think it was like her and this guy just started dating, and they were kind of like they jumped into the relationship pretty quickly. And so she took him like on I think it was like part of a like company trip, like she won a trip or something for like performance, and it was like to Costa Rica or something like that, and they like were having a good time. I think it was like the second or third day there, and she got Montezuma's revenge and didn't
that?
it's like horrible diarrhea, like just shitting your pants all the
Oh.
time. And she like was in bed and like did not make it to the bathroom, and so there was shit all over the bed, and she was like, get the fuck out, please leave, and like had to call room service and everything to get it cleaned up. But like,
Oh
how
my
embarrassing.
God.
Like, you're just kind of like recently dating a guy still, and you literally shit the entire bed.
That is
Oh,
horrible. I feel like
God.
that's a book or
Probably.
something, or maybe with period blood, not.
It was
Shit.
just insane though. Like, I think I would totally take period blood over
For
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
poop in the bed. Like,
For
that's
sure.
disgusting.
Well, period blood doesn't smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ew.
Oof.
My parents set me up with their neighbor's son. We hit it off and went on a few dates. The last date we went on, we went to dinner. A place he suggested after knowing I didn't really like that type of food, but I wasn't going to point that out again. The check comes and I offered to take care of it to be nice. When he refused, then I asked to split it. I know now not to even offer, LOL. But he still said no. He looked at the check and then said, well, you can Venmo me $20 if you want. Safe to say we never went on another date after that.
That's crazy.
That's so stupid.
It's so awkward in those situations too when you're like set up with a family member of a family friend or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's really awkward because then it's like you have to talk to your parents about it. And then their parent also knows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so awkward.
That's really awkward. On me and Cameron's first date, he was like, oh, let's go to the sushi place or whatever. And I was like, oh, I don't like sushi. And he like he's like, oh, okay, we'll go to somewhere else. And we went to a different restaurant. And then afterwards I was like, oh, I want to go bowling with our friends and meet them at the bowling alley. So we went to the bowling alley and met everyone. And like it turned out, one, he planned to go to this sushi restaurant and then like by that there's like this lookout thing on a mountain, and he like got a chocolate cake that was like in his car. And I just had no idea. Like, he didn't tell me for months after. He was like, I just wanted to do what you wanted to do, even though he had like this whole thing planned.
That's
like,
so cute.
I would have gotten some teriyaki and eaten a chocolate cake.
Do you guys think sushi is a good first date food or a bad first date food?
I feel like pretty good, right? It's not like
pretty good.
Messy.
I think it depends on like how you are with chopsticks.
Yeah. I also think if I were trying to impress someone on a date, I would probably just get sashimi or something, because it's so awkward putting the big roll pieces into your mouth, and then you're like, I can't chew it. Like,
well, what do you think is like a good first date food? Well, Britt thinks no food.
True. She's like, I don't have time.
Okay, for a meal, what would you pick?
Let me see. Where would I probably like a salad or something.
Yeah, honestly, salad is hard. Like really.
No, actually, salad is awkward too.
Yeah,
because it always hangs out of your mouth.
Yeah, I would say pasta if it's like not a spaghetti.
Yeah,
I was gonna say tacos, but those are messy too.
Yeah,
sushi is pretty good. I feel like sushi is like less messy.
Yeah,
and it feels like fancier a little.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
My turn.
Mm-hmm.
This is just one ridiculous thing that happened on the worst first date ever. We ate dinner and both had a noodles and chicken type dish at a Thai restaurant. At one point, a small piece of noodle fell out of his mouth as he chewed. It landed on the face of his watch and sat there for a long time. His arm was on the table in front of him, so I could see this as it happened. I couldn't stop looking at it as we kept talking. Oh my God.
That's sad. You should have told him.
That's so gross. I just saw this girl posted on TikTok, and she was saying that she dated a guy for 3 months, and like in the first date, she noticed that he had a big piece of earwax in his ear. And then like several days later, he like picked it out.
On the date?
Yes. While they both saw it, and I sent it to my family, and I was like, this is why I'm single and other people are in relationships, because I would have never seen that man again if I saw that he had a big ball of earwax in his ear. Like, how are we just accepting this and continuing to speak to these men with earwaxes in their ear and shit? Like, that is so disgusting.
So gross.
Oh my God. Like, the fact that he picked it out on the date is crazy.
Yeah.
I could see, like, sometimes you got a little accident every now and then. I mean, a giant earwax clump is crazy. Like,
yeah.
But you might drop something out of your mouth or something.
Makes me, like, question some hygiene.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Disgusting.
Oh, like, but the normal body functions, it's so sad, but it's so gross. Like, if they accidentally spit when they're talking or something, or like food comes flying out of their mouth, and it's just like, oh, I'm not attracted to you now.
That's an accident. Like, that doesn't happen all the time.
I know, but still, like, when you're first getting to know someone, if that happens, it's like, ugh.
Why do I feel like I did that to you one time? I feel like that happens to me a lot, where I accidentally spit while I'm talking
I
or
have
something,
a memory
and then
of
I'm
that,
like,
I think.
yeah, I kind of do too. Like while I was drunk. Oh, well, I'm glad you still love me.
But that didn't bother me. So yeah, I guess it's different between like a first date when you're getting
it's different
to know
for like
someone.
attraction too, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. The guy showered me with love and affection for a whole month. He sent me gifts, sent me food every single day, sent flowers, professed his love on social media. For a whole month, he was dedicated AF. I agreed to officially date him after a month of courting. 3 dates after, he completely ghosted me, blocked for no reason, no explanation, and nada. I was going to say India.
I know. That's what I thought I said too.
Nada. I was dumbstruck. As far as I remember, we had a great time on our third and final date. He even said he already loved me and he can't see a future without me. Men really are from Mars. That's crazy. Also, so that was like less than 1 date a week, but he was still doing all those things. Is like wild.
Yeah.
Love bombing is weird. Like, I don't know, because it's like, how do you...
I don't understand men. It like logically makes no sense. Did you watch the Love Island reunion?
No, I was watching Vampire Diaries. I'm like deeply in a rewatch and I can't think about anything else.
That's cute.
So good. But I'll watch it tonight. I just like genuinely don't want to watch anything else. Like I'm just so excited to watch Vampire Diaries every night.
I miss that feeling.
How many seasons of Vampire Diaries?
8. We started season 2 last night.
Jeez. That's
gonna
crazy.
be a dream. But it's perfect for fall. And I watched it in high school, so there's like a lot of things I don't remember fully. Like every episode, I'm like still kind of on the edge of my seat.
You know what's so annoying is like me and Lexi were rewatching Gossip Girl like last year or something, and she'll sit there next to me and she's watched it more times than me, and she'll be like, "Oh yeah, Serena cheated with that guy," and like telling me what's going to happen the next season or something. I'm like, "Excuse me." She does it the whole fucking time. Yeah, like why do you think I'm rewatching this? I don't want you to. Just give me the whole play-by-play then. Who's Gossip Girl? Like
that is so funny. That's what me and Cam are doing though. We're like, wait, does this happen? Like, because we kind of remember but kind of don't. And we're like, wait, is this when she turned into a vampire?
That's different than being like, oh yeah, this is
That's funny. But was the reunion good?
Yeah, Kaylor accused Aaron of love bombing her all summer, so that's what made me think.
I mean,
I'm gonna make a note. I want to ask you about Rob on Patreon.
Okay. Let's talk about... Did you see the TikTok of the guy that was in a poncho? And he was like, TSA won't stop calling me Poncho Rob. And he looks exactly like Rob, but in a poncho.
My God, really?
And everyone's like, oh my God, there's Overalls Rob and Poncho Rob.
Oh my God.
A first date went to a Christmas market. His male friend tagged along and was grumpy the whole time.
Wait, that's so weird.
That's so awkward. Like, why would you have, like, a sourpuss friend come with you? All 3 of us crammed into his sleigh ride, couldn't move our arms. Guy I was on a date with tried to kiss me on the ride. So awkward. Okay, maybe this guy, like this friend, has a reason to be grumpy.
This is a book too.
His friend drove me home. The guy I was on a date with tried to make out with me outside the car. I said, I think your friend is annoyed and wants to go. LOL. Found out years later his friend had a huge crush on me.
Also,
no, on him.
Ever. Oh, on him. Sorry. Thank you for reading that. Found out years later his friend had a huge crush on the guy she went on a date with. Also, that was my first date ever. No wonder I don't really date.
Oh, yeah,
that is horrible. Crazy, and that makes so much sense because I was like, why is this man going on a date? That totally makes sense. I bet they were hooking up on the side.
But why was the friend coming anyways?
Probably because they were hooking up on the side. A little kissy.
I don't know.
That's really weird.
That is weird.
I can't say that I would like, unless it was like a group hangout with more than like 2 or 3 people. I don't think that's
no, unless just you were in love with your friend that you'd want to be there.
Aaron and Rob and Kaylor.
Yeah.
I do think like it's funny. Guys like don't really think that much into like oh, like, I want you to meet all my friends kind of thing. Like, they do, but they don't. Like, they'll, like, invite you to go, like, hang out with their group of friends because it's convenient. And then you can, like, go have sex afterwards. Like, they're not like, oh, my God, let me, like, organize this huge thing so you can, like, meet all my friends. They're like, no, it's actually convenient so I can, like, hang out with my boys and drink with everybody. And then, like, we can go hook up later.
Yeah.
But me, younger, it was like, God, like, I keep hanging out with all this.
Yeah, like, he wants me to meet his friends.
He, like, wants me to be there. Like, he wants me to hang out with his friends.
That's so funny.
Okay. Warning, not lighthearted.
Okay.
Went for a coffee/walk in the park first date and witnessed a pretty serious dog-on-dog attack featuring broken skin and a wailing owner that didn't know what to do. It was awful witnessing in general, but even more so as we were both dog parents. Many people stepped in to help, but it was a pretty traumatic experience. Haven't been on another first date since. It's been about a year. Ugh.
Oh my God.
That's really
sad.
Really
traumatic.
I'm surprised they didn't, like, trauma bond. I totally would. I'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
We saw this together and we're both dog parents.
I really want to start taking Willow to the dog park again in the fall because she loves it so much, but it stresses me out so much.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what to do because, like, I feel like that's the only time she really plays hard and gets to be a dog and have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, but it
Are there any like bigger dog parks? Like, I feel like the bigger that they are, then the better, because dogs can be more like separated and just kind of do their own thing, but then also still play with the dog if it comes up. But it's less like, I think they feel less trapped almost.
I think that was the problem with a lot of the city dog parks. They were all like quite small, and Rosie like hated them.
Yeah, I mean, now that I have my schedule, I can do whatever I want. Maybe I just find like the least busy time.
Yeah, that is true. I used to go at like 7 a.m. or something when Finley was a puppy, and it was the same people every single day. Like there was like 3 or 4 dogs, and it was every single day like the same exact people. So yeah, I feel like there probably is schedules, and then you can more like do play dates when she likes playing with a certain dog. Then you can like plan it more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, it's scary.
No, it is. I get like in the neighbors app or whatever, I always get notifications like dog died at. There's this one certain park, the one that I used to take him when he was a puppy, and dogs are always dying.
That is terrifying.
I don't from attacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's probably the smallest one in our city, but it's still like pretty big. I think it's like a mile around. Like there's like a mile loop.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah.
My dog parks are like 8x10 square box.
Yeah, I think that's, I don't know why Arizona's like that. My dad actually just sent me a picture and they were like, they're building a new dog park by us, and it's like a Maggie-sized dog park.
Yeah, I remember when my cousin first moved to Seattle and she was like, there's this big, huge dog park.
Yeah.
You know, that's like, it's like a park.
Yeah.
And then it's all fenced in or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. We have 1,000 acres is what it's called. And it's
that's
like,
what she was talking about.
Oh, but that's not in Seattle.
Maybe there's one in Seattle too.
Probably. There's like so many, like where it's literally just like a giant, multiple hiking trails and everything.
Yeah.
But like dogs are just allowed off leash.
Yeah.
I feel like there's way less problems.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Are we going to do a few more? Or keep going? I met a guy on an app a few years ago who I really hit it off with. We messaged back and forth and video chatted for 2 hours before going on our first date. Between those conversations and the one on our first date, he asked me if I used drugs 3 times. What the fuck? The third time he asked, I thought it was weird because my profile said I didn't, and I told him no the 2 prior times. I'll bet I answered no and turned the question back to him. He said no as well, and that was that. We had an amazing first date, and when planning our second date, he asked me if I ever tripped on acid. I told him no for the 4th time I didn't use drugs. He responded that acid isn't a drug, it's medicine. And then he told me he couldn't date someone who didn't see its medical benefits the way he did. To this day, it's my best why I didn't get a second date story. Ew. That is crazy. It's not a drug. Like the antithesis of like a chemically made drug. That's crazy.
Freak.
I think you definitely know if somebody asks you 3 times if you use drugs, they probably use drugs.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I don't.
That's so weird. I'm like very curious, like some of these like questions and like situations on these dates. I'm like, do you need to like see or like take a class on like just
Like etiquette.
normal conversations? Like you don't, it's not even first date. Like this is just like normal, like, hey, how are you conversation versus like, let's dive into all of this shit.
No, literally.
While it might not be a bad, crazy dating story per se, it certainly seems a crazy one to me. I met up with a girl with whom I matched with on Hinge. Turns out we went to the same gym. I was too shy and quite frankly terrified to approach her in the gym. What's necessarily crazy about this, you may ask? Well, we met just planning to go. God, I just hate myself sometimes. Please hold. This is like painful to listen to.
Well, it's also the writing.
Yeah.
No offense to the
What's necessarily crazy about this, you may ask? Well, we met just planning to go for a walk and perhaps get coffee or something along the way. 1 hour walking turned into 2, which turned into 3, then to 4. Then before we knew it, the sun had set and we had been walking for 6 hours.
What?
50 plus steps and 28-kilometer distance. That's fucking funny.
What the hell?
Just walking and talking. Kind of crazy how you can become so comfortable with somebody and hardly ever run out of things to say. I spoke previously on this page about previous bad experiences with someone who left me for a boat cruise, so this was a refreshing change. Now, a few weeks later, we are dating and still haven't run out of things to talk about. Kind of crazy. The kind of crazy thing you were expecting, perhaps not, but pretty crazy and amazing at the same time, in my opinion. Have a wonderful day.
I love that.
Me
That's
too.
what I want.
Yeah.
No, that is awesome. But also, would you not be like, can we pull over to a restaurant or something and continue talking?
Yeah, maybe like 6 hours. I'd be like, okay, like maybe let's like pause and get lunch and then keep walking.
But they were just so excited and like consumed with each other. Like,
I feel like I definitely have that on like friend dates, you know, like where you're like,
Mhm.
oh my God, like let's meet up. And then you just like start talking and talking and talking. And like there's nothing like that's stopping the conversation. So you just kind of
See, I don't. I think that's my problem. Like that's never happened. Besides, like my best close friends, like that doesn't happen to me now. That I'm just like, oh, the time is flying.
I don't know. I think it like depends on if you're like really in your head about the conversations and stuff. Like obviously you're like you could really think about it, but I feel like if you can like be open and just like really curious.
Yeah, no, it does. Like if you just turn off your brain about like overthinking the conversation. That's very true. That's so
Sometimes
cute.
when we're talking, like just things keep triggering more things that you want to say, and then like it's been 2 hours, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
shit.
for us,
yeah.
Should we do one more?
We have how many are left? There's 5 left. Do you think we could just do them?
Yeah, we just have to stop talking.
Okay. Back in college, I went on a date that completely blindsided me. We show up at the restaurant and suddenly she whips out a tape measure and she's like about to start a home renovation. She measures me right there in front of everyone. Hostess, other diners, you name it, and then starts yelling that I lied about my height. I told her I was 5'11", and guess what? The tape confirmed it. After a few minutes of losing it over a singular inch, I realized life's too short to deal with a shitbag. So I noped out of there and never looked back. What? Crazy. That is a crazy person.
Good night.
Oh my God. That is so crazy. It really is like people need to learn basic manners, and that like I do feel bad for boys a lot of the times and what they say about
social constructs. I think like just
like people like our girls are seeing that online, like who needs to be 6 foot or whatever, and she thinks that would be funny. That's so weird.
Yeah, that's crazy. I would not. I would have noped out of there as well.
Fuck? So this isn't truly a date, but this is just so funny I'll never forget. Several years ago, my good friend and I were driving around, as one does in the Midwest, looking for something to do. Her friend, we will call him Rick, calls her up and invites us over to smoke some weed. We said we didn't have any, but he said he would smoke us up. So we go.
Does that mean like he's gonna give weed?
Yeah, I've never heard smoke us up though. I've heard smoke us out, but same thing probably. So we go. We are smoking and hanging out with Rick, and then Rick says to both of us, "Okay, it's time to go to the bedroom." And we both look at each other like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" Rick proceeds to tell us that since he smoked us up for free, that we needed to give him something in return. We were both so confused, and he flat out said, "If I'm not getting laid by you two, then get the fuck out of my apartment."
Disgusting.
So we get ready to leave. Moments later, he gets a phone call and was like, "You guys have to leave right now." We walk towards the door. He opens the door and hides behind it because we can only assume his girlfriend is on the other side of the door. My friend and I run out of the apartment, and as soon as we get back into the car, my friend proceeds to block him. Ew, that is so horrible.
Oh my god, what the fuck? That guy is a freak.
A predator.
For real.
I don't understand people.
I'm sorry that happened to you. That's crazy.
I went on a second Bumble date with this guy I thought was cute and normal on the first date. Okay, I'm glad you had a good first date. We haven't had very many good first dates here. We ended up getting coffee at Barnes & Noble, and he brought me over to the romance section and started showing me books and saying his friend was on the cover of them. He then tried to find sex books with me, so I awkwardly tried to end the date. When we finally left and he wanted to walk me to my car, he asked me how much I weighed and asked if he could pick me up. I immediately told him no and started to walk to my car. He pushed the topic one more time, saying I looked light. I told him if he tried, I would scream, and he then acted like I was the weird one. He gave me an awkward hug and tried to go up for a kiss, but I turned my head. I did not go on another date with him. I assumed Bumble was safer and more normal since a friend of mine knew him, but nope, still creepy and weird.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
That's like the most bizarre thing. Like, if he was trying to flirt by being like, how much do you weigh? I want to like pick you up.
Yeah.
Also, like, damn, because that sounded like a cute date at first. Like, he's like at Barnes and Noble looking at romance books.
Just the very beginning.
But like, also very immature to be like, oh my god, like, let's see what sex scenes there are. Like, let's look at
books. Also, like, his friend isn't on the cover, I would assume.
Yeah, maybe he was being sarcastic or something.
Interesting.
I feel like maybe the right girl would have been like, okay, yeah, let's find sex scenes, but like, I don't know.
It depends
really
what
weird to me.
Yeah, like how you've already vibed so far, and probably not a second date.
Yeah,
unless you've like talked a bunch.
Okay. One time I went on a date with a guy to an art museum. We were walking around the sculpture garden, and though a lot of them weren't marked, I recognized one as the goddess Diana from Roman mythology. I pointed it out since I studied that area in college and enjoyed seeing it, but also because it's slightly different to Greek mythology's Artemis. And he immediately corrected me with an actually, Diana was British. Nice try, though. I stopped going to museums on first dates after that.
Is he literally talking about Princess Diana?
Yeah.
That's so dumb. That's crazy. Okay, this is the last one. I decided to get on a dating app after being single for a little while. I was also divorced 2 to 3 years prior. Well, I get online, make the best profile I knew how to make, and start swiping. I saw a guy that was a manager of the gym I used to go to. I said, oh, he was always so nice. So I swiped and we connected. We chatted very frequently and had great conversation. I noticed he had a lot of typos and sometimes he didn't make sense in text. Red flag. Over the next week or so, he told me he had a TBI, a traumatic brain injury. He said he is recovering well and doing great. I was thankful for his honesty and we locked down plans to meet up. The day comes and I arrive to the dog park to meet him. He slowly gets out of his truck and starts limping my way. I didn't think he was going to make the walk to where I was with my dogs. He finally makes it there and we start talking. He was not, in fact, doing well. And was not as well recovered as he says he was. All his pics were from before his accident and not current.
That's so
oh
sad.
My god, this is so sad. He had easily gained 100 pounds. He had a right-sided brain injury and had trouble with depth and actual judgment of situations and such. while me, being the nice person I am, continued to talk to him and see where things could go as friends. Needless to say, the brain injury showed massive mood swings and a list of other stuff.
Ooh.
I work in healthcare, but I was not cut out for the situation. It was really sad. I still can't believe my one online dating experience was a major catfish, but I have to look back at it and laugh. I was on the dating app for less than 5 days. I have not returned. I'm still single. That's really sad, though. Like, it's so sad. That's so fucked up.
I feel like he's like one of those people that really has to like just lean into like where he's at in life, and like the right person will like meet him where he's at. But
again, the lying is not going to help, because when they see you in real life, what are you expecting?
No, like if anything, you should be more extreme. Like be like, I'm not doing well. I have this. Like explain every single thing so that it seems like better in person.
Yeah, and be like, I'm working on getting better. One day I'm going to be, back to my normal self. Yeah, what the fuck?
I freaking love these. We have more from like last time to read too, but like we should do another episode on this.
Yeah, we're gonna do another episode, and we're gonna make a Google number so you guys can call in and leave your stories too, because that sounds so fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. And then we don't have to freaking read them and get all jumbled up reading.
Yeah, that's very
We're
true.
not good readers.
Yeah, I'm a great reader.
Yeah, Maggie is a good reader.
Yeah, you are.
Thanks.
Me and Def will work on it.
Just practice. I mean, you're great readers. You read way more than me. You're just not reading out loud.
I don't read out loud.
So it's fine. You're not illiterate. Okay, well, thanks so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast on YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, so that way you can be following us when the next dating episode comes out. Make sure you subscribe to our Patreon, because we have bonus episodes every single Tuesday, and once a month we have Q&As, so member-only Q&As. So when you're listening to this, the August Q&A will be up, and you can go subscribe. And when you subscribe, you get access to all of our past videos. It's not just like the new ones that come out. So there's a lot of content already waiting for you. But we love you so much. Make sure to rate and review us, and we'll see you next week. Love you. Bye.
Bye.